Who's behind us? For science, you monster.
So, it's Portal. In real life.
It's been 11 years, 1 month, and 22 days since Portal 2 was released, and I'm tired of waiting, so we're going to make Portal 3 ourselves, and that's already been done. Well, CodyCantEatThis, eat this. It's an image of a cake because Portal. I'm giving myself half a week to create a real-life Portal experience. This includes making the following: multiple kinds of portals, famous Portal objects, and iconic Portal voice lines.
It's been a long time.
And the timer just started. I opened up a new Unity project and then realized, how the heck do I make Portal in real life? One word: augmented reality. That's 2 words. If you've ever heard of Pokemon Go, you know what this is. AR is the magic that allows us to place digital objects in the real world, like this guy. Speaking of, we're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month. Smack that button so I can get monetized and put out bigger videos for you guys to see. Congrats! You just want a portal to the next part of the video. And in the case of our game, we can make portals in our engine and import them to AR, which is how this is possible. With our new knowledge, I set up the stuff required for AR using Novaborn's tutorial. Then, I smashed a new scene into existence and worked on the functioning portals. I thought about downloading a tutorial project, but they use complicated shaders to make the portals work visually. And with this type of portal, I don't know if that's possible. The way you see on the other side of a portal is by placing a camera at the same relative position and cutting out this part of the image. However, you can't just move a camera in AR as you can in a video game. If that were the case, I could move this camera to see through walls, view the moon in person, and look at the center of the earth.
And I haven't found a way to glitch like... Let's make these portals.
But first, we need to create this guy. Thankfully, the internet exists and our boy 𝗗𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗥𝗜𝗕𝗨𝗧𝗔𝗘𝗏 has created this model. Thank you 𝗗𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗏. Very cool. Then, I positioned the portal gun relative to the camera as if the player was holding it, and voila! Portal gun. Then, I created the portals. They're big cubes for the time being, but after experimenting, I managed to successfully teleport this guy. And let's just say I was... happy. Now equipped with functioning portals, the next step was to port them to augmented reality. Here's how it works. A raycast is sent that places this cursor onto a wall. When the player taps the phone, we spawn the portal at the cursor's position. And after debugging, we can place portals in our room, or just big rectangles. This video is not clickbait, I swear. And to prove that, we need our test cube from earlier. So to reclaim my honesty, I added a button to spawn the cube, and the cube falls into the abyss. What happened was the AR planes generated by Unity needed a few more seconds to generate. However, I didn't know that and proceeded to spend the next few hours browsing obscure forums and nearly giving up, only to realize that it was working all along. To avoid this catastrophe from reoccurring, I created a material to visualize generated AR planes. With my new Portal game, I decided to have a little bit of fun. However, these rectangles don't look like portals. Like, at all. So I hopped into Shader Graph and made a portal. And when I say made, I mean... Then, I added some sound effects and particles using Unity's particle system and upgraded the cube. Ladies and gentlemen, portals in real life. We've got portals now, but the game is still very...
Here come the test results.
What?
You are a horrible person. We weren't even testing for that.
So because 𝗗𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏 bullied me, we need to put her into the game. To do this, however, we need to make a system of items that the player can cycle through, like an inventory.
Hello.
After some coding, these arrows at the top allow us to change our current item. Now, we need to actually place the objects. I first downloaded a model from Sketchfab, then imported the animations into Unity, which took way too long.
How?
Then, I put her into the system and BAM! We have freaking 𝗗𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 in our room. After that, I made functionality for breaking objects, toggling UI, and a good old turret.
Well done.
We also have Wheatley.
Bird!
However, 𝗗𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 is kind of just chilling in the corner. So I hopped onto the Portal wiki, downloaded these voice lines, and...
But right here, a scientist has noted that on you it looks stupid.
Thank you, 𝗗𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. I needed that reminder. Now all of this is cool, but we still haven't implemented what I call a true portal. The portals we've made can teleport objects, but not us. Thankfully, there's a fix for this, and I dove into the realm of shaders. And when I say I mean following a 16-part series. Yeah. And with the power of shader magic, we have a sphere that can only be seen through this door. Then, we replace the sphere with a laboratory, do a bit more of I don't know what the frick I'm doing, port it to AR, and you can now place an interdimensional portal in your room. After fixing some of the bugs and adding features like bidirectionality, is that even a word? I decided to add 2 more dimensions I found on Sketchfab: Minecraft and Paris. And after following a hologram tutorial by Big Brack and 4 days of development, Portal 3 in real life.
This next test is impossible. Oh, it's you. It's been a long time. It's been fun. It's me!
What? A Rubik's Cube? Well, if this cube solved itself, use your portal gun and teleport to this video. Well, the video's ending in 3, 2, 1.